guys, and welcome back to Appalachian Home Co. And yes, today we are starting on some Christmas crafts. I have really fun and inexpensive projects for you guys today. These are more of the rustic Christmas decor, so I hope you guys really enjoy this video. So our first project is this Christmas tree bowl fillers. I saw these on Etsy and wanted to recreate them, so I went and got some fabric at Walmart. I picked up some sticks out of my yard and also got these little bells from the Dollar Tree. This clay also came from the Dollar Tree, and I had some cinnamon already on hand, so that's the items we'll be using today. I am starting out by cutting some triangles. These are going to be about 8 inches tall by 5 inches wide down at the base. So I just cut some strips of fabric that were about 8 inches. I folded them in half, and that made it easy to get 2 pieces exactly the same out of my fabric. And I'm using 3 different fabrics here. You can use any color that you want in any theme that you want. So after you have your trees cut out, I'm just taking my hot glue gun. I'm gluing along the edges. I just want to seal those edges because we will be stuffing these. You can definitely sew these if you are a sewer, but I wanted to make this project super simple, easy and quick, easy for anyone. So I'm just taking my hot glue gun and gluing along the edges. Now comes the stuffing part. I'm just taking some polyfill, and you don't want to overfill these too much or you'll pop your seams, and I'm filling those just up to the base. Then you're going to take your little stick that you get from your yard. You can also use cinnamon sticks for this as well, but I'm gluing that in there on the base, and then I'm just gluing down the edges and also glue down that little seam around your stick. That way it will not pop out. Once you have your trees finished, you can definitely leave them as is, but I am going to be adding some more embellishments. So I'm taking those little jingle bells I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm putting some antiquing wax on them to make them look a little rusty. This is Waverly antiquing wax. I got this from Walmart. So I'm just painting that all over my little jingle bells, and to give this more of a rusty effect, I'm going to be adding some cinnamon over top of those jingle bells. This is going to give it a rusty look, and it's going to make these smell just like Christmas, like cinnamon. And once these dry, we will be sealing these later. Next, I'm going to take that clay that we got from the Dollar Tree. This is a super good deal. This clay, I'm going to be making some little stars to go on my tree, and this is red, so I thought this would be perfect to make some rusty stars. Then I did a printout of a star pattern and just cut that out with some scissors. And that made it super simple just to go around and cut out the shape of a star in this clay. This clay is more of a natural clay. It's more like biscuit flour or biscuit dough, if that makes any sense. So this is kind of more like a flour. It comes apart really easy. But after these dry, this you'll find this is going to work just fine. So I cut all of those little stars out, and you want to make sure and leave that to dry overnight. So I left mine to dry overnight, and this is how they turned out. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that sealant over top of those jingle bells so the cinnamon does not fall off. I'm just using some Mod Podge spray sealant, and this is just in the matte finish. Next, I'm going to take that Waverly wax. Again, you're going to see me use this product a lot in this video, and I'm just going to paint those stars back down to that rusty color. Once they dry, they do dry a little bit lighter, so I am just painting that on there. With this clay that I'm using, you do not want to bake this in the oven. It specifies do not bake, so you definitely just want to let these air dry. And I thought these turned out so perfect for this little rusty primitive look that I've got going on with these trees. So I'm just going to hot glue those to the top of my trees. You do want to be very careful with these stars because they do break apart very easily, so you may want to spray those with that sealant as well to give them a little bit of extra strength. Now I have printed out some tags, and later in my video you will actually see how I made these tags, but I rustied those up with that wax as well, and I'm tying these on with a string, and I'm adding that bell as well onto that string. This is just a little yarn string that I think I got from Amazon. Once I have both of those on there, I'm just gluing that to the front of my trees, and I thought these turned out so cute, and they're gonna make perfect bowl fillers this Christmas when I put up all of my Christmas decor. For project number 2, we are going to be making some rustic jingle bells. Oh, this was so fun to make. I'm just taking that pack of clay that we made the stars from, and I'm rolling up some 1-inch little jingle bell shapes. I got about 7 1-inch jingle bells out of the rest of that pack of clay, and this clay is like $1.25, so you could really make a lot of these for super cheap. Once you have your little ball shape, you want to take some kind of tool. I'm using a little X-Acto knife here, and I'm cutting just a cross in the top of my jingle bell, and I'm kind of opening it up to look like the shape that is on the end of a jingle bell. Then I took my weeding tool. You can also use like a skewer stick to do this, and I'm creating those little round indentions that you see on a jingle bell just to give it that realistic look. Here I have let all of those jingle bells dry for at least overnight. I think I actually left these for 2 days to make sure they were completely dry. Now I'm going to take that antiquing wax again and paint these just to make them look really old and rusty. And this wax does not stain your hands at all. I just washed it off with water, so don't worry about getting wax all over your hands. Now I'm going to do the rusty part with some cinnamon. After these bells dried, I just took a little bit more of that wax and placed some spots all over the jingle bells. At first I was sprinkling the cinnamon, but then I found it easier just to dip in my finger and pat it on the painted areas of the jingle bell. And again, I'm taking that spray sealant and just spraying all over the jingle bells to make sure that that little cinnamon rust does not fall off. And as I'm doing these projects, I'm just smelling all the smells of cinnamon and Christmas. So I am loving the way these turned out and how they smell. They just add to the Christmas vibe going on here. For our next project, I found these little blocks in the Dollar Tree, and as soon as I saw them, I thought these would make perfect little snowmen. So I'm just taking those out of the pack. I'm going to be painting them white. We're going to be adding some rust to these as well, and then a few embellishments. You can use these as ornaments or again as bowl fillers, whatever you want to do with them, but these are going to turn out so good. Now I'm just stacking these little snowmen. I'm using that hot glue gun. I did not paint the insides because there was no need to, but I'm stacking those and just hold them until they are really good and dry. Now I'm just taking a Sharpie marker and I'm going to be making a face on my little snowman. You can use paint to do this, but I just had a Sharpie handy. So I'm just drawing a little black eyes, eyebrows, and nose. I didn't show this part for some reason, but those little red cheeks, I just took a little dry brush and dipped it in some red paint and just created some little rosy cheeks on there too. And now I'm just taking that antiquing wax and just lightly going over all of the edges to give these a little rustic, primitive look. And now to finish these up, I'm taking some little strips of fabric. These I have actually dipped in some coffee and cinnamon, and I'll show you that later in the video too. But I just took some 6-inch strips of that fabric and I'm wrapping that around these little snowmen to give them a little scarf, which I thought was so adorable. I also made some more of those rusty jingle bells from the Dollar Tree bells that we got earlier, and I'm making some little buttons on the front of these snowmen. You can add a hanger to the back of these to hang them on the tree with some jute twine or little picture hangers, or just set them out on a shelf or in a bowl. Next, we're going to make a Christmas wreath out of some wood slices. I think I saw this on Pinterest or Etsy, but I thought this would be so easy. So I just ordered an entire box of 50 of these little wood slices. I think these were like $18 on Amazon, and you could easily make 3 or 4 wreaths out of this whole box. So you're going to need 16 of these wood slices, and these are around 3 or 4 inches, and this is going to make about a 14-inch wreath. I am putting down a layer of 8 slices on the bottom, and I'm going to close in that layer with 8 slices on the top. And this is just super simple, super straightforward. You're just going to glue that top layer down to the bottom layer, and these slices actually have a hole in them to make little ornaments. And if that bothers you, I think you can also get the kind that does not have the ornament hole in there, but it definitely did not bother me. You want to make sure that you glue these down really well to make this wreath really sturdy. And now I'm just taking some ribbon. This is just a burlap colored ribbon, and I'm making and tying a simple little bow to go up on the top. And these florals I actually just got from Walmart. I don't remember how much they were. They were like $1, I think, but I'm going to glue just part of those down onto the top, and once I have that glued down, I'm going to add my ribbon. You can also add a hanger on the back, and I actually didn't do it in this video, but you can take some jute twine and glue on the back of this wreath to hang it on your door or on your wall. But this is a super simple project and super inexpensive, and I thought it just turned out so great. This next project is nothing new. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I'm just taking this little plastic ornament. These came in a 2-pack from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, so this costed me less than 70 cents. And I'm taking just a scrap piece of fabric. Actually, that fabric that I got from Walmart, I just cut it into more 1-inch strips, and I'm just taking my hot glue gun and I'm gluing that all the way around. You can put Mod Podge all over these and wrap those like that if you want to, but I didn't want to create just a huge mess. I just wanted to keep this clean and simple, so I'm just using my glue gun to roll this around and glue it in all the spots until I have everything covered. The difference in this ornament and some of the other scrap ornament balls that I've seen is I'm going to be adding some greenery to the top of this. I also got that greenery from Walmart also. I added enough greenery to go all the way around the top of the ornament, and then I just added this cute little fake pine cone at the top. The last thing I did was add another piece of that scrap fabric to act as a hanger so that I can hang this on the tree. Now this is my favorite project, project number 6, primitive candy canes. These are so inexpensive and easy. I'm using that fabric from Walmart, and also I got some straws from the Dollar Tree. These are the kind of straws that bend at the top. You will need those kind, but I'm going to be cutting out some 1-inch strips of fabric, and I'm using this black stripe ticking fabric from Walmart. I wish they had the red. If you can find the red, that would work so pretty on these candy canes. But I'm cutting out about 6 or 7 strips of each color, and you want strips that are about 20 to 24 inches long. I found that 24 inches was a little too much, and 20 inches sometimes wasn't enough, so somewhere in that length works good. And this red fabric came from Hobby Lobby, so these two colors I'm going to be using. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out about 10 straws, and you can use something round to bend these straws with, or you can just bend them with your fingers, but you want a general candy cane shape, and you can cut off the tips if they are a bit long for you. But I'm just going to quickly bend out about 10 candy cane shapes to make this project. Now I'm going to take one of those strips of fabric and start wrapping it around my candy canes. I'm laying it down at an angle and gluing it on the end at first, so that gets a good starting point for wrapping this all the way around your candy cane. And I'm using my glue gun here and there just to secure it along the way as I go. But I'm going to be doing about 5 of these in the black ticking stripe fabric, and then I'm going to be doing about 5 of them in the red fabric. Something else you can do is to actually dip all of these scraps of fabric in some coffee, and I'm adding some fragrance oil. This is cinnamon fragrance oil, so it's going to make these little scraps of fabric smell really good. It's also going to give them an old primitive looking rustic stain. Then you can let all of your strips air dry and place those around your straws, and then you're going to be left with this rustic cinnamon smelling candy cane. Now to finish these off, I just printed out a complete sheet of Merry Christmas labels. These are about 1 3/4 inch circles, and I just typed in Merry Christmas in red in the center. Now I'm taking the antiquing wax and just rusting this up as well. I did use cardstock on these to make these a little bit more sturdy. Then I just poked a hole and tied those onto the candy canes to finish. Now for project number 7, this could be included in my last project, but I wanted to show you an alternative way you could do these candy canes. You can make candy sticks, and these look just as great as well. You can do several bunches of these for super cheap. So I'm just wrapping that fabric around the straight straws. I'm not bending them. I did cut the tips off a bit, and then I just did a different tag. I did a little ho 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 tag. So that's an alternative way you can do these fabric wrapped candy canes. Now for our last and final project, I'm going to do some clay cinnamon rolls. I'm using that same clay from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just shaping it down into a little bit of a rectangle, and I'm using a cheese grater here to shave off some strips, but this cheese grater is really old. I don't use it anymore. I'm just using it for crafts, but you can also cut these, you know, with a clay knife or something flat. But I'm just taking strips out of that pack and I'm rolling them up into the shape of a cinnamon roll. You want to make sure that your middle is a little bit taller than your outside edge, and you just shape these up. These are so super simple to make. I made 2 of these cinnamon rolls out of 1 pack of clay, and again, this clay is super cheap, $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, so you can make so many of these for really inexpensive. I let these dry at least overnight as well, and now we're just going to do the same thing to these as we did those little jingle bells. I'm going to be painting them with that wax, and then we're going to add some cinnamon, and also we're going to add a little extra special something at the end. Now these are dry, you may want to go ahead and spray them with that Mod Podge spray, but I'm going to take some Mod Podge and actually mix it with a little bit of paint, and you can probably guess what we're going to do. We're going to add some icing to the top of these cinnamon rolls. I added way too much white paint and mine came out really opaque, but if you just add a little bit of that paint to your Mod Podge, you're probably going to end up with a little just clear glaze on the top of these. But I just sprinkled that along the top and kind of rubbed it down with my fingers. And then to the top of that, I just sprinkled some more cinnamon to give this a cinnamon smell and a cinnamon look. And these turned out so cute. I was so excited with this project. These Christmas projects were so fun to make. This is probably my favorite video I have ever made on this channel. I already have ideas for more of these Christmas projects, so if you like this video, I'm definitely going to be posting 1 or 2 more of these Christmas crafts in the next week or so, next couple of weeks. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel and all of my content. I will definitely see you back again very soon with another video.